Get to go first on round 1, which is exactly what we want, and we have an excellent hand. Mirroring Dragon looks a little bit out of place, but with a bunch of 2-drops and both of the colors of land that we need, we're in pretty good shape. And our opponent's mulliganing. That's going to be tough for them, especially if we can resolve a Forge Master. Seems fairly likely with us on the play, our opponent mulliganing, we might be able to get Forge Master down and not have them be able to play another spell, which would be really, really nasty. Machinations is pretty good too. If they do have some blockers here, then we've still got ways to push through damage. Like Thermo Alchemist. Although, luckily, Forge Master just pushes through that anyways. Oh, I've got a kitty here. Hey, kitty. Sorry about that. Let's go attack with the Forge Master. I'm going to play Steadfast Cathar here first. I could play the Guardian, but Forge Master already gets through, and if I just play Guardian next turn with the Steadfast Cathar and my opponent doesn't have another creature here, then I can get through with both of them. They can't really block. Not without losing the Thermo Alchemist, which I'd be pretty happy with. Fiery Temper on the Kessig Forge Master. Nasty. Well, that's unfortunate. Their deck looks pretty good already. Forge Master and Fiery Temper, or Thermal Alchemist and Fiery Temper are pretty good starting cards. Alright, and we have a mountain. So I have a cat right in front of my face now. I think we want a Guardian of Pilgrims still here. It's a tough one. Because it does make sense in a lot of ways to play Drogskull Shieldmate. If I draw another card, I could maybe Nahiri's Machinations and Guardian of Pilgrims. The Guardian does let us punch through damage right now. And if I draw another land, I could always Spiteful Motives. Alright, let's just go for the Guardian. Not to mention that Nahiri's Machinations isn't the worst either if I can go like land and then have Machinations and an activation up, because it still means that the Thermal Alchemist can't really block either of our 2/2s. Not without dying. Yep. Thermal Alchemist is just so good. It's funny how much it like shuts down an aggro deck like ours, while at the same time being a card that's very good in an aggro deck, just because of how much extra damage it pushes through. Really wish you'd drawn the land, because it would have been perfect to be able to Machinations and just, like, threaten to pick off rats. I guess we'll attack with both. I'm willing to trade for a Rancid Rats here out of one of our 2/2s. Our opponent might not. We do need to be aggressive. We need to just kind of keep pushing through damage. I'm willing to sacrifice something here. I'm not sure why I did it then, actually. We really didn't need to slam Drogskull yet. I could have waited. Given my opponent less information. It was going to be our play. Midnight Scavengers, rebind the rat. Ugh, that's not good. I really need the land so we can Spiteful Motives. And right on time. Let's attack with both. And whatever our opponent blocks the Midnight Scavengers, we just get to Spiteful Motives. They haven't been blocking with Thermal Alchemist, so I'm fine with just making them waste time on that. This is kind of perfect. They're not blocking. Because we have no way to push through the Thermal Alchemist. I need to kill the Midnight Scavengers more than I need to kill the Thermal Alchemist here. Which is always the reason why Thermal Alchemist stays around and deals so much damage, is because there's always a bigger threat, and yet at the same time it still just sits there and picks away at you. So now I have the Machinations, so Rancid Rats can't really block the Guardian of Pilgrims appropriately. We'll just play the Machinations, make this indestructible, because I really would not want to lose this, whereas if I lose that, it's not a big deal. But we can still pick off the rats. This is going very well for us. No matter how they block, it's not going to turn out well. And post-combat, I'm still going to play this Guardian of Pilgrims. Yeah, it doesn't give a +1/+1 to one of our creatures now, but That's not a big deal when we can just activate Nahiri's Machinations twice next turn. We would rather get down another creature and just keep pushing through damage. Go wide around our opponent's blockers. Newsgraph Mob. Alright, that is a thing. That being said, though, we have this Mirrorwing Dragon that's just gonna get there. Could attack with both of the Guardians and the Drog Skull. We lose a Guardian to the Newsgraph. But... I mean, our opponent's gonna block... Like, they have to block Rancid Rats on a Guardian and Thermal Alchemist on a Guardian. Like on something for sure. They have to chump block their Drog Skull. So... Maybe I do just want to attack with everything first. Sure, I throw away a Guardian against the Newsgraph. But they might actually just take 2. If I'm trading for Rancid Rats, is it that bad? It kind of is when I've got the Machinations and just doesn't need to happen. I think we just go with the Drog Skull. We can wait. Mirrorwing Dragon's lethal next turn, as long as our opponent doesn't have removal. It's going to be hard to go wide around Newsgraph Mob, too. So I guess we'll just need some chump blockers eventually. If our opponent has a way to kill this Mirrorwing Dragon, at least. Because we need something to trade with the zombies. Newsgraph can buy our opponent a lot of time. Alright. If they had something like, yeah, I guess there's not a lot of removal. So I was trying to think of, like, if they had, like, one of the enchantment removals or something, but there's really nothing in their colors that can do that. I don't know why I was thinking of, like, Choking Restraints and stuff can target Mirrorwing Dragon and not lose it. Our opponent's not going to play anything like that because they don't actually have the colors. Ruthless Disposal would work because it targets not just Mirrorwing Dragon, it targets 2 different things. So that would get around the clause on it because it's something that targets only Mirrorwing Dragon. So Ruthless Disposal would actually kill the Mirrorwing Dragon. That's a card that could get it, but does not look like our opponent has it, considering that concession. That worked very nicely. Now, what else do we want to do here? Any changes that I need to make? I don't think so. Newsgraph Mob is a little scary, but it is a 6-drop. It can stabilize our opponent pretty well is the thing. Because they can get a lot of counters off of it into tokens. And that's actually... Like, a big 5/5 is not the issue, but a bunch of 2/2s is kind of annoying. So I'm thinking that we're okay with the way that the deck is, though. It's possible that we want the Reaper because our opponent doesn't seem to have a ton of flyers. Maybe over Vilden. But I'm not totally sold on that yet, so I'm going to just leave it for now. And another decent hand. Kislev Forge Master on turn 2 again. Ride down back up this time. Every time that we have Kislev Forge Master on turn 2, I've got to be pretty happy. Thermal Alchemist from our opponent. But luckily they can't block yet. They will be able to block this Guardian. Oh, last time they were very scared to do that. Oh, they got the Brazen Wolves from us. It's unfortunate. I can trade Forge Master for the Brazen Wolves. Not entirely certain that I would want to. So I'm trading 2 for 4 here. If I just play, or 3 for 4. If I play the Guardian onto the Kislev Forge Master. Could try and leave it back, but then if there's removal against the Kislev, that's a real problem. I will get Courageous Outrider down afterwards, and I can use that to block Brazen Wolves. think we'll just keep on the attack here. Our deck is one of just smash, 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 smash. So I think that we need to keep on that plan. We're losing the race currently, but our hand is still very aggressively curved, and I think that we can fight our opponent on this level. Rancid Rats. Yeah, that's fine. Just going to attack with both of our creatures. They probably won't block with Thermal Alchemist based on last game. Trade the Rancid Rats for it. Yeah, that's more what I expected. And we can get the Courageous Outrider down, and I can block the Brazen Wolves with that. Not hitting anything is a problem, but at least we got rid of a lot of land, because I certainly didn't want to draw all those. I already have enough for Vildan Pack Outcast. The only thing I could possibly want is a mountain. Voldaran Duelist. Ew. Yeah, they're very aggressive too. At least Vildan Pack Outcast will let us block this Voldaran Duelist pretty nicely. The big problem now is the Thermal Alchemist, because it's actually picking away at us at 7. If they have any burn in our hand or something, we're in a lot of trouble. I need to leave back the Outrider, I think, because I need to do something about the Brazen Wolves. I don't want to trade Vildan for it. I could get Ironclad Slayer down instead. I could just Guardian of Pilgrims and Ironclad Slayer. And then I could just keep attacking. I could actually attack the Courageous Outrider then. You know, that makes a lot of sense. Sure, it's bad if our opponent has removal, but if they have removal, we're in a lot of trouble anyways. So let's just attack this way. I can get the Slayer down, and we have good blocks. I can block Slayer on Brazen Wolves and Guardian of Pilgrims on the Voldaran Duelist, and be very happy about that. If we can stop our opponent from attacking with the Brazen Wolves, it gets a lot worse. It's not a good defensive creature. It's a good creature on the attack. So if they don't have a way to stop this Ironclad Slayer, they don't have a great attack here. And then, like I said, when they're not attacking, Brazen Wolves gets a lot worse. They're thinking, which is always a good sign for us, I think. Never like it when my opponent just starts snap playing cards when it's really close like this, and we're almost dead. That generally means that you're in a lot more trouble than you realize. Sometimes when they're thinking about it, you still get blown out, but uh-oh. Yeah, tapping Thermal Alchemist first is not what I want to see, because that's almost certainly just removal for the Slayer. Throttle the Slayer, yep. And I have to chump block the Brazen Wolves, which means I have to take damage from Voldaran Duelist, which means that I have to kill my opponent this turn. Seems unlikely. If I draw Spiteful Motives, maybe? That's not going to do it. Yeah, just can't hit for enough. And that is the game. All our opponent has to do is tap, and then untap and tap it again. Thermal Alchemist doing exactly what it does. Taking over games. These are both very aggressive decks. It seems like a lot of it's going to be decided on who goes first. Make Mischief picking off Rancid Rats might not be a bad plan. It's also really good as a defensive blocker against like Voldaran Duelist and even just a Brazen Wolf sometimes. Might not be a bad idea to put in a Make Mischief. Maybe I don't want Vildan Pack. The card's very strong, but it is late game. Or just the Smoldering Werewolf even. Yeah, being on the play, I think that I'll take out the werewolf, and I'll play the Make Mischief. We haven't been able to get up to the really late game. Like, these games have been fast, so Smoldering Werewolf, you know, playing it for 4 and then transforming it for 6. Yeah, the card's really powerful, but it takes a long time to really get firing, and I don't think that that's the kind of game that we're going to play. So I'll submit it, and happy to go first. Oof, I need a plains, but we do have 10, no, not 10, we have 9 sources. It's a 9-7 split. With 9 sources, this seems very reasonable. I do also get the Forge Master on turn 2, which is a big incentive to keep the hand. Alright, let's draw plains, please. Gotta hope. If I don't get a play on turn 3, I mean, the nice thing is the Forge Master flips, but I guess it flips already because our opponent didn't have anything, and we also don't have anything. Uh-oh. Not what I need. Spoon's a great card. Oh. Oh no. I need something else for it. I think we need to pass. I can't let Handwear Garrison hit us. We can't beat the 1/1s. And we're dead. Oh, no. Took a risk trying to get a plains. Okay, that is something. So I can Drogskull Shieldmate and block the Handwear Garrison. Not amazing, but it's what we have, so we'll do that. I guess that I should just block a human. It's probably worth taking the extra point of damage. And then after that, I can keep leaving it back, hold up the Spiteful Motives, and hopefully eat Handwear Garrison. Not good. Opponent's deck is very strong. Thought our deck was good, but yeah, missing on those lands was very killer. Brazen Wolves is another problem. Land wouldn't actually be the worst. We can get Guardian and Spiteful Motives online. I can play Griffspoon on Drogskull Shieldmate here. It is all eggs in one basket. But it might make our opponent hold back a little bit and just attack the Brazen Wolves. And then we can still eat it with Spiteful Motives. We just take a little bit less damage from them going wide. I think that makes sense. Newsgraph. Oh, goodness. Yeah, they're being smart. They're just attacking with everything. It's the right way to do things. I got too many little 1/1s. Kinda wish I'd slammed Spiteful Motives first. Just so they didn't get another 2/2 off this Newsgraph, but yeah. Too little, too late. Plains came too late. I can get the Guardian down, I can Galvanic Bombardment, but we're definitely going to take 2, right? Because, I mean, I shoot a zombie, they get a new zombie. Play Guardian, they get another new zombie. Yeah. There's nothing I can really do about that. I mean, I can Galvanic Bombardment on their turn, so their zombie doesn't really get replaced this turn. But even so, I still have 2 blockers, and, like, I block Brazen Wolves and a human, and I'm just dead to... I'm dead to the... Never mind Newsgraph Mob and zombies. I'm just dead to the humans and the Brazen Wolves. So, yeah. Handwear Garrison's a nasty card. Kept a little bit of a dicey pick, but I don't think that it was that bad again. I mean, we have to take some risks when you're playing Magic, right? Like, that's the problem. It's unfortunate that it ended really quickly because of that. We just ended up on the wrong side of it, but with 9 different sources, it still makes a lot of sense. And like I said, no hand that you keep is going to be risk-free. When you're looking at 9 different sources, we're going to get like 2 draws because we really needed it by turn 3. I mean, that gives us about a 50% chance of drawing a plains in those turns. We're at about 48%. And then after that, it's just going to go up from there. Like, over 3 turns, like 3 draw steps, then we're going to have, you know, a much higher chance even again. We're probably at about 56, 57. And that's just good enough, I think. And there's, like I said, no line of play there that's without risk. Going to 6 cards, there's no guarantee that we get something that's keepable and good. It's a little bit of a risk, but everything is. Yeah, we go up to 57.8% over 3 draws. So by turn 4, we had a well over 50% chance of drawing a plains. I think that's good enough. But we didn't make it. Ended up being a really good hand for our opponent and just missing a couple turns on lands for us. So unfortunately, our hopes of doing 2 in a row is kind of dashed here. We did have a pretty sweet deck, I thought. It was very interesting to see how it went off with all of the 2-drops. When we actually had game 1, like 2-drop, Nahiri's Machinations, the deck just ran people over. It was really effective at that. And our opponent's deck was an aggressive deck as well, so you can imagine if they were a little bit slower, if they were trying to set things up with like a blue-red spells list or something like that, we could have really just stomped them. Our deck was very fast when it had the right kind of draw. But it was great fun to do this again, and I will see you guys next week with another episode of Full Force. We're going to be revisiting the blue-green Emerge deck next week, so that should be a lot of fun. I think that deck is one of the more... It's a very interesting deck, and it's gone up and down a lot in people's estimation. It was really, really high on everybody's pick order, and everybody was like forcing it for a while when I first did the video. And now it seems like it's open a lot more often, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really interested to try the blue-green deck again, so I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Alright. Boon the Stitchwing, play Lupine Prototype. Ironclad Slayer can rebuy the boon next turn. Kind of perfect.